it's eating out each of the particles, not particle, the mesh. So based out of the distance between each of the point here. So the higher the surface radius adding, so it looks more of a what was it called? Right. So it's the same thing, radius droplet. So each of these individual droplets, so you can modify it as well. So it would be more bigger or smaller. So yeah. So now you can actually try it on the first try. Like I said, the first time you try to simulate it first, and then once it's cached, you can just have it repeat. So you can just scrub it after that. So now you can see here a droplet. So we can scrub it. So any changes that you make, let's say if I were to make the container lower and slightly bigger, all you have to do is just play all over again. So it would start simulating the whole thing. Of course, the first one is going to be slow because you have your simulation, and after the first one, it will start. You can start scrubbing this. You already save it onto it. So you can see here the water particles. So like I said, this is really small. So if you want to make it like waterfall or hose water kind of particles, water effects, then most probably you're going to have to make it bigger. So you can see here the water particles is really small. It's like if you were to shoot a water droplet from a high-speed camera. You can see like that shape that it flows. So it's the same thing here. You can give that kind of feel. So the bigger it goes. So right now, you can see. Oh, really easy, right? So next, unlike other like end particles where you can paint the animation, so it would have that shape. So here we can also export just the shape of our water here. So let's make it flowing first, smaller, because I want to make it overflow better. Time because it's too far. So this is what I want, overflowing. Now I've done that. So now we want to export just this mesh of water, not water particle, the liquid. So to do that, you select the mesh itself. So after that, you go to cache. So you can see here it's supposed to be next to Bifrost fluid. So cache, Alembic cache, and then export selection to Alembic. You say cache, export Alembic cache, and export selection to Alembic. So a menu will pop up. So basically, you just if you were to create your own project file system, most probably it will be wherever you want to put it. So it would be, you can see here, it's in a cache folder, which every Maya should have it. So within that cache folder, this is where your XGen is also there. Whatever cache kind of thing you use, it will be here. So just name it, name the cache. You don't have to change any of the settings. So you can see here the step is at 1. So this is where, because we just want to play with 24 frames per second. So you can just export. So you're going to run through it one time. So now it's exported. So what can you use with that? So basically, after you simulate, you already have the perfect simulation of your water and everything. So you export it using the cache Alembic. So you export that. So now, what we can do with that is we can just delete all of the simulation. So we don't want to use the simulation anymore. Just select all the Bifrost objects here, settings, properties, and just delete it. So you would only be left with your sphere and your basin here, your water container. So now, what we can do is we can import our Alembic again. So cache, Alembic cache, import. So import, you just have to look for your what you name your Alembic file just now, the cache playback, not the cache playback, the cache liquid. So now I import. So you can see here it's going to import just the mesh itself. So if you were to play this, so you can just see the. So it looks like the water is really thick. That is because of the size. It's really small. So if you were to look at this distance, then it looks normal. But if you were to look at it close, you can see that it's. So now it's just a mesh. So you can just play around. It's going to be really light. So any changes that you make, it doesn't matter. The mesh of the liquid doesn't change. So basically, that is liquid. How you're going to export it? So you can make it into really fun stuff. You're going to try it out on water, fill up a bucket or something. So right now, I'm just going to show this to you. You will be learning this next semester, which is how to render objects in loop development. So this is what potentially what you can do next semester. So we're going to open up rendering, appreciate. So we're going to use Arnold renderer, shaders, understand surface. So we're going to name this water. So we have a presets here. Let's make it honey light. Select. Oh.